Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a little line of sight blocking rocky scatter pieces. Now it's very simple. We're literally going to get some stones, glue them to a base and flock it, paint it and flock it. So it's not very hard to do, but I just thought I'd show you because it's very easy and possibly free depending on what materials you end up actually using. Now the stone that I used are some stones that we bought for the garden. It's called like blue slate. You might not have access to that, or you might not want to buy a big bag. You know, if you or maybe one of your grandparents or somebody has a garden, they might have stones in it. Like, ask if you can take a few. Failing that, these are some stones that I found on a walk with Katie. They're very easy to acquire stones, but just be careful of like stealing. We don't necessarily want to get you in trouble. But I'll just quickly show you how I did it. And you can buy the stones on eBay in little small packages if you can't find any other way of getting them. So do keep that in mind. And yeah, I'll just quickly show you how I did it. So as I said, the stones that I'm using are these like blue slate stones. What I do, I just get 3, but any number will do. Put them in sort of a pile and sort of dry fit it just to whatever combination you like. Once you've found a combination, try and keep that sort of combination to the side. Now the base I'm using, I'm actually going to be using EPVC, expanded PVC. It's like a soft plastic that I think they use for like signage. If you can't get that, simple cardboard will suffice, or whatever, like MDF will be okay, even a CD would be okay, whatever you want. CDs are a fairly classic, easy thing to get a hold of, so well, maybe not in this day and age, but just cut it out, or if you're using a CD, leave it at that size. And then we're going to take a hot glue gun and we're going to glue the stones to the base. Now you could use super glue. You might just have to use a fair chunk of super glue. Hot glue, obviously, very easy, very secure. Just as I said, if I'm using EPVC, but if you're using cardboard, you're not necessarily going to be able to bevel the base. But because I'm using the expanded plastic thing, I'm going to bevel the edges. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to slightly slant the sides of the base just so it blends in nicely with the table when we do get it all set up. And then I'm just literally going to take the hot glue gun, glue each stone in the best order that I can to maintain the original setup that I had to the base with the hot glue gun. And then yeah, it's going to dry pretty quickly, so we can very easily move on to the next step. And this whole process is very quick. The next step, I'm literally going to cover the whole base in PVA. I'm not even going to water it down. I do use a slightly wet brush. Get a little bit of gravel. Any gravel will suffice. Just dribble that on. And then we're going to cover the whole thing in sand. The PVA at this point, you pretty much want all over the base, so make sure you don't miss anywhere. And the sand, yeah, it doesn't matter if we're missing splotches or what have you. If it doesn't stick to the base, that's fine. We're going to cover it in flock anyway at the end, so we can always cover any mistakes that happen. Now, off camera, I sprayed mine brown. Now, I wanted to do the rocks brown just because I wanted to try this sort of having brown and a bit of yellow in there with the rocks. You don't necessarily need to do that. If you want, you can literally just straight up paint the base with black and a bit of PVA, and you can paint the rocks with literally just black and then dry brush them grey. I just spray painted it brown because I had some to hand. And then what I did, I just dry brushed the rocks with a dark grey. I'm using Slate Grey by Deco Arts Americana paints. Once I did that, I take a tan colour, which is like a dark yellow, and dry brush the rocks in that, which looks very strange now. And to be fair, because I dry brushed it, you can't really see it. But basically, rocks generally aren't just pure grey. There's a few different like colours in them. In this case, I think it might have been a worthless step. Whilst I was waiting for that to dry, I just dry brushed the base in a slightly lighter brown. Nothing fancy there. Then I just go back to the rocks, dry brush them with the dark grey again, dry brush them with a lighter grey, which I think I use Slate Grey, and then I think maybe Grey Storm. And then I final dry brush with a bit of white. Now each time I'm like going up a brightness level with the grey to the white, I'm sort of using the same dry brush, mixing it all together and just going like that. I never really actually end up using pure white. Pure white can look a little bit like unnatural, but just be careful once you get to the white stages, it can look a little bit dusty if you do end up using pure white. But just dry brush it all the way up to the top. And then we're pretty much ready to flock it. And for the flocking of it, I'm just going to get the same PVA glue we had before, put it in the splotches wherever I want it, and sprinkle over. I'm using blended turf from Woodland Scenics, but you can use whatever the hell you like. And then off camera, once it had dried, I just decorated it with some lichen, some static grass tufts, and that's about it really. It was all very simple, and that's it, pretty much done. So I do need to do like one final touch. I could really do with spraying it with watered down PVA just to seal everything in, because I haven't sealed in the flock or anything like that. But these are the two that I did with the slate grey stones that I had just in our garden. As I said, don't get caught stealing stones, you'll look weird. But stones, they are stones, they're pretty much free. I'm using that EPVC as a base, but imagine if you wanted to use cards, you could, and then you might already have your basing materials. This could in theory be very free, simple bit of terrain. It's literally just stones. But I think they actually look pretty nice. I'll obviously put pictures up. They're the two using the blue slate, and this is the one where I just used stones found on a walk. Really, really simple stuff, and very quick to make, as in I think I made all three of these in far less than an hour. Obviously I had the drying time once I did the PVA for the base and the flock, but excluding the drying time, less than an hour's worth of work, and I think they're fairly attractive pieces. The tufts that I'm using are from not Woodland Scenics, World War Scenics, something like that. Pretty damn nice, pretty damn cheap, all good. This is a bit of a weird video. It's literally grab some stones, put them on a base, paint them. Hopefully you found that interesting. Maybe it just sparks it like, oh, I can actually do that. It's very simple. I can easily do that. So I will do that. And hopefully you like this video. If you did like that video, do like, subscribe, share, whatever. All that kind of good stuff. And have a most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Bye, guys.